Hey, good morning, friends. This is Lauren Poppy up in Corry, Pennsylvania, and I've been looking forward to sharing with you two beautiful instruments that arrived on the same day. This one is I believe it says a Model 73 in the sound hole, and the particular decal up here dates back to the phonoharp era, pre-Oscar Schmidt, back to the 1920s. And it has the gold decal note array down here with both the numbered and the lettered notes using the Charles Zimmerman numbering system. So the low F is a 4, using C as your scale. C, D, E, F. F would be the fourth note in the scale. The next one is a 5, that's G. And then the third one, which is C, takes you to 1. So the way the numbering system works is that it uses the C scale as your base scale. And when you get to the first sharp in the array, which is F sharp up here at the, the 8th string, 6, 7, the 7th string, it has a 4, which is written in a dotted form with a little number next to it indicating that it is a sharp. So that's the way it is tuned all the way up. This is a 37 string harp, so it goes all the way up to the high D. Of course, later on the factory harps only went up to C and were 36 strings, and I believe it was George Orthy and some of the other luthiers who decided that 37th string was part of the original design of the Autoharp, so most luthier Autoharps now have the 37 strings. It has the standard 12-chord layout that was used by Zimmerman, Phono, Oscar, all the way up to I guess the present day they don't sell 12-chord Autoharps anymore. But this was always centered around F, which has the F and the B flat and the C7, or the key of C, which has the C, the G7, and the F major. That's primarily even though it's chromatic, those are the primary keys. So what I would like to do is play a little bit of this Autoharp using the only overlapping key, which is G, and jump 100 years into the future and play a little bit of this brand new build by the wonderful luthier Michael Bowman from out in Ohio, Western Ohio, and taking sort of an idea that I kind of imagined would be fun for an Autoharp. He made this a Guinness harp with the Guinness harp logo and the color of a nice pour of Guinness stout, and the contrasting chord bars and trim is meant to be the foam, and it has the gold harp inlay like you would find on a can of cold Guinness stout. And so I kind of had an idea this would be fun for just the Autoharp in general, but for Irish music and all kinds of music. I'm looking forward to the day when I can go to an open mic and play a little bit, and about one song in, suddenly look out to the audience and say, "You starting to get a little thirsty?" And have them look at me kind of strangely, and maybe they'll say, "Yeah." And I'll say, "Well, it's because you're listening to a Guinness harp. Now go get yourself a nice pour and come back and sit down and enjoy the rest of the music." I think that would be quite fun. Anyway, I'm not going to do Irish music today with this harp because I am going to use it as a early 1920s build phonoharp era in my Sears 1920s Hollywood kit house, which is on the market. Everybody wants to move to a beautiful house was once the home of millionaires in a small, quiet town. By all means, get in touch because I'm ready to move on, but I'm happy here as long as this is where I'm meant to be. So I'm going to play a little bit of the antique harp that Tom Schickling sent me. Tom's been working on lots of renovations or renewals of old harps. And he's become quite an expert on identifying models and so on. He put brand new Schreiber strings on the old harp, and it's in perfect condition. It's not coming apart any of the seams. It holds tune pretty well. And then this one also has Schreiber strings. So this one is 2026, but we're going to jump back in time 100 years. And so the circle won't be unbroken. We're going to play a little bit of the 1926 Autoharp. I was standing by my window on a cold, cloudy day, when I saw that hearse come rolling for to carry my mother away. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord. You know it's in the sky. So I threw in this G7 chord, which I don't usually have, but in this harp it's very much part of the arrangement. And the other chords are basically G, C, and D7. And then those are grouped together down here at this end of the harp in a little triangle setup, and then most of this is in that triangle 2-row setup. And when I checked on the model 73 in the Blackley book, on the page before it has the model 72 and 7/8. How they came up with 72 and 7/8, who knows? But the main difference between the 72 and 7/8 and adding an eighth to it to make it a 73 is that the 72 and 7/8 is a 1-row Autoharp, and then, ta-da, they got the bright idea, well, let's stop fooling around with all these shifters, let's make 2 rows, and we can put minor chords over here and major chords over here, and spice some 7th chords in there, and we can play all sorts of music. So this setup is kind of the default setup for most of the factory Autoharps from the 1920s right into the 1970s. Kilby Snow would have played a variation of this, and Pop Stoneman and Mother Maybelle, Sarah. This was sort of the primo Autoharp of its day. And Tom Schickling of Wellsville, New York, about 2 hours east of here, I don't know if he conspired with Michael Bowman to have these 2 harps both arrive on the same day. I was waiting for the Bowman harp, but all of a sudden on one day I had 2 Autoharps on my step, and I opened this one up and it came together with the other one, and all of a sudden all made sense. Will the circle be unbroken? 100 years ago, 1926. Set that down, and we are 100 years in the future, and this is a 2026 Michael Bowman Guinness Autoharp, and the overlapping key is G. Well, I followed close behind her, tried to hold up and be brave. Oh, I could not hide my sorrow when they laid her in her grave. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? The better home awaiting in the sky, Lord. You know it's in the sky. So there you have the Michael Bowman Guinness harp, fresh off of Michael Bowman's workshop, fresh out of his workshop in Ohio. And I don't have the 7th chords on this harp because the GDA, and I like to use color chords, so there's some add twos. I haven't turned this into a prism yet. I think I'm going to. I may change up the string schedule a little bit, but other than that, great grandma, meet your great grandchild. In 2 or 3 generations of Autoharp, maybe 4 even, over 100 years. The 1926 phonoharp, model 73, and the 2026 Michael Bowman Guinness Autoharp.